Ready? All right, welcome back to the Scope podcast. This is a little podcast with me and Lukey. I've just come up with a few things that we wanted to address. Normally like my little piss take videos.
Yeah,
this is just another
formality.
Yeah, like it's stuff that I'd be talking about anyway, but I thought, why not just come into a podcast? We're supposed to have Henry Perinara, which we'll touch on. Lukey's going to address that. Want to, again...
Smash that subscribe button.
Subscriptions. We're going to be pushing that. Tissues have got a runny nose. No Gatonis, swear. But yeah, Lukey, let's go. Let's get.
Yeah, fire away. So, what are you grateful for on this Friday, Scope? What do we got?
Look, I've got a really good grateful today, and this goes. It's gone two ways today. So first of all, I had a really nice grateful from one of my friends, Gracie, down at Next Door, and all the people down at Next Door. She said she was grateful for me.
On the coffee as well.
I really appreciate that. That was a nice message. To get a message like that first thing in the morning just really put me in a good mood for the day. So I'm very grateful for that.
You're not one for sugar in your coffee, but that's probably the second best thing.
I love that from you. Did you plan ahead for that?
I'm quick, Scope.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
Quick.
That's nice. And my grateful is I had a punter, a listener to the Scope podcast come up to me. I just went down there by myself this morning.
To where?
To Next Door. After I finished Friday Frisbee, and I had a kid come up to me, 19-year-old kid. I should have grabbed his name. Ended up chatting to him for about 5 minutes. We talked a bit of footy. Talked about he's a 19-year-old kid. I think he said he played a little bit at the Roosters in his juniors, just struggling to put on weight. I saw the other day there was a few quotes from Kempy's interview.
Pappy?
Yep, interview with Pappy. So I mentioned go listen to that podcast. We're obviously grateful for our friendship with Kempy and Bloke in a Bar, and we love his podcast, and I think that's the perfect podcast for him to listen to. But we spoke a bit of footy, told me he listens to all my podcasts and whatnot, so I was grateful to meet him today, have a little chat to him. I was by myself at Brekkie too, so I didn't mind having a chat, and it was a good little morning.
And that quote, I think it was he debuted at like 78 kilos or something like that. So what would the average NRL boy be, like 90 plus?
Yeah, I think so. If you throw into context, like a guy like even Snake, like Brett Stewart, who I played with, who was a lighter fullback but like real quick, bit like Pappy. I reckon Snakey would have been around about 85 kilos. 85.
Kiri wouldn't be much bigger than that, I don't know.
Kez wouldn't be that much bigger. No. I think it's with halves, it's a little bit different. Obviously, defensively, it makes a big difference because you're trying to send big back rolls or forwards at them all day, but with regards to Pappy and his kick returns, getting bashed all the time, he does a really good job of getting in between gaps, lowering himself. He's got good centre of gravity, and he seems really strong once he gets in his core strength.
Even I remember when Gutho was like debuting Manly and Para back in the day. He's a little.
Have I ever told you that story about Gutho when I first turned up to Manly? So my first pre-season, Gutho was there in 13 as well. I think he might have been like 17, 18 when he was in the full-time squad with us. As soon as I seen Gutho and the way that he looked because of his rig, I go, that cunt's a gun. I didn't know anything about him. Yeah. I just go, like, he's going to be a fucking gun because he is a string bean. See these, like those are, I got skinny pegs. Mate, Gutho was like that all the way up with his hair. He's looking like a snack too. Like that hair's starting to come into himself, isn't
Those
it?
Northern Beaches kids, man.
Yeah.
Baby Goat, he's lined up for next week.
No, so Baby Goat, I love this about him. So there's two podcasts that we're supposed to do this week that have unfortunately not come to fruition.
The life of a podcaster.
It is, mate. We're very appreciative of all the boys that come in and do this stuff. We never pressure them. Had a really good response from Cooper. It was supposed to be the Baby Goat podcast, Cooper Johns and Harry. They basically said that this is big seasons for them and they don't want to get too far ahead of themselves. So they're going to be very low-key. They're going to come back and do it for us throughout the season. But this is just another reason why I fucking love the kids, like both of those kids as well.
They all got after it in the break. And they all put themselves out there, gave the fans and the content that everyone wanted in that sense. So I do get that. I can imagine Bellyache. Would that be something from above, or is that them? They're that disciplined that they're ready to go?
I reckon that's the culture. Like without Bellyache saying anything, I think that's just the culture of it. Like, and they don't have to say anything at this point. But it's just another reason I love the Melbourne Storm. It's just another reason I love those two boys. He seems really focused and just excited. Like he looks tired too. And
they're wrecked
I think they're tired as hell because Cooper said that they're moving into a new joint. Him and Harry, or they're in together and they're going to be moving into another joint. So they're pretty busy. But I couldn't hold that against them. It actually excites me even more for the season for them two boys. And once the season starts rolling, we'll get them two in, as quickly as possible.
And the second dropout, we had Henry Perinara.
Yeah, and Hens has been away on break as well. Like footy players, the referees have their break. He messaged me this morning. He got in late last night with the family. He couldn't do it today. He's gone straight back in training. He wasn't sure if he could make it. So we really want to do that podcast still. I think that's a unique look into the game.
People have been asking for a while, and we had like the NRL refs reach out to us, Jackson and I, last year to do a bit of a write-up and content and a bit of back and forth, and never eventuated. But so it'll be cool to get that perspective, because you never hear it. It's not like there's a press conference after the game if they have a bad call or anything like that. People always say, they should have a press conference and things like that. So it'll be cool to get that opposing side.
For sure. And Hens has played before, so he played about 100, I believe around 100 first grade games, and as well as the new rules that have been implemented this year and last year, which I think really helped them out last year and made the game a lot better as well. So it would be interesting to sit down and chat with him.
If he brushes you again, he's 10 in the bin.
That's it.
You got to give it straight back to him, Scab. You ever get sin binned?
Not in the NRL. I got sin binned in the Super League.
What'd you do?
We were playing Wigan, and it was the last game of the season, and they made a break. Was it a 40? It might have been a 40-20, and they went to go throw the ball in for a quick tap, but I got in the way and just knocked the ball down.
So you're defensive. Yeah,
it was,
you blocked
that was another block shot.
Yeah, you didn't do your ankle though.
No, I didn't do my ankle. One of my good mates, Jody Broughton, who played with me, he reckoned it was hilarious because I didn't even look at the referee because I just knew, because I knew I was going to get sent off. So I basically ran, the winger tried to throw it in quick to the centre to tap it. I got in the way, knocked it down, put my head down and just walked off. And then the ref's giving me the 10 from behind me, but I couldn't see it. I just knew it was either going to be sent or 10 in the bin. So
I have to try and find a photo of that. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I wonder if I don't think it was a TV game. That was against Wigan. There was a nice couple of scraps in that too. Johnny Bateman and Georgie Williams were in that game too. Some of the boys done really well over here. That was a real heated. Actually, a funny story quickly about that as well. There was a few scraps, and during the scrap, there was a few words exchanged after, and it ended up being me and Johnny Bateman, and we caught each other at the end. And after a few punches, 3 haymakers were thrown, not from us two, but we were sort of in amongst it.
A few jerseys.
I decided to layer up and say, "Look, fuck. Hey, I'm on Mad Monday. I don't give a fuck. Let's go. Let's throw down. You boys have got to play finals." That's the sort of vibe I was going through, talking a bit of shit. And so they were calling me fuck and whatever. They didn't want to fight because then, like I said, they had more to play for. I would have just missed the start of next season or whatever. And then as we're shaking hands after the game, he walked. I thought it was done because this is about 15 minutes down the game. I forgot about it. I got sent for 10. I'd taken my boots off and all that. So I come out and shaking hands. And as I'm walking past Johnny, he goes, have fun on Mad Monday. So
he
got me. He got the last laugh, and it was a nice little
good lad.
Nice. By the time I turned around and tried to say something back, it was too far gone.
And then you've got upcoming pods. So what do we got up our sleeves?
Yeah, so looking forward to next week as well. We have in the morning our boys from 257, the Newcastle boys, Kalen and Connor. They're going to come in and talk about the Bushel for Doom, grateful season. And plus, give us an injury update on where they're at, both of them, where they're going to make the start of the season, and then some of their goals for the season as well. So looking forward to that. Then we'll follow in Scope Spotlight number 2, a guy who I think is going to have a big season this year. Ran into him on the way up to Byron as well. Kyle Flanagan's going to come in. And then we're going to finish off on that day with 10 in the can. We've got it obviously went really well last week, so everyone's pretty keen for that. And we're going to discuss all things. One thing...
Reckon you'll stretch it an hour again? Or
I don't know. It seems like there's so much stuff we can talk about.
Just keep rolling with it.
We've even been asked, and we'll address it in 10 in the can, we're going to come up with a glossary. So a guy messaged me and he goes, "Mate, I love the podcast. I love the shit talk between you boys. But half the time I don't know what you're talking about." So we probably going to have to explain... mutters, maybe 10 in the can for people who are new and don't understand that.
I don't know what the kennel is.
Something of doom.
There was another one.
Kitties,
it was a real obvious one.
Kitties,
I
stuff
remember
like
someone, I can't remember the comment, but it was I can't remember what it was. But yeah, definitely the glossary.
Yeah, we'll go over everything. And then because I said that to Chico, he said he's going to come up and write it down on a pad. So it's going to be the YKTR glossary or
I know
he had a word for it. It was like a
like not an index or something. Like
index.
Yeah.
Index. He's going to come up with a YKTR index for us, so people know what we're talking about when they listen to the show.
Yeah. All right. We had the golf day clip yesterday from the press. He's just coming out making plans for us, but you went straight into planning mode yesterday.
Well, that was crazy, mate. So Prez called me straight after. He just sprung that on us. We talked about having a golf day between us, just us boys, and I think he's already been thinking about ways of getting involved with the punters club. He wanted to be at the party that didn't happen this year. He loved it. He's that sort of dude. And we ended up getting on the phone after and like, fuck, well, there's something to this. So when I posted, I ended up getting like fucking 100 DMs of people that were keen. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim for a golf day at the end of the year, YKTR Sports Charity Golf Day. You're going to have the opportunity to – I've already got 10 confirmed players, myself and Prez. Those will be obviously, where we'll be skipper in the day, but we've got some really big names, and you'll get the opportunity to be in a group of 3 with them. We'll sell tickets for that. So you can buy the opportunity to be paired in a group of 4. So it's you and 3 of you with a footy player or celebrity like Simi.
Yep.
And
tell you one we didn't mention in that little pre-podcast meeting.
Yep.
Old Aaron Smiths, they love a bit of golf. Some of the Kiwi
the
boys.
Blacks,
you mate Dan Carter.
Desi.
I don't think you could. You could.
Imagine getting Desi. Look,
those boys, they'll be coming across for Super Rugby potentially if they have their little bubble.
Oh, no. The All Blacks
golf
are in as
day
well.
Of doom.
The All Blacks are in as well now, beauty. So we'll hit those boys up as well and ask them if they'd like to be involved. But I have a feeling this is going to go really well from the interaction that I've had with people in the DMs. I think we can make this an annual thing, an annual YKTR Golf Day at the end of the year. Like I said, we've got some boys confirmed. We'll have jerseys there. We're going to get sponsors involved. It's going to be a really good day. Mate, so me and Tash are going to start organising that. Thanks to Tash. She sent me a bit of layout.
Tash YKTR.
Tash at YKTR. So we'll go over that, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Now, your specialty scope, the old NFL.
All right, so we're going into NFL. We'll talk about Scopes picks last week went 4 from 6. I had a really good Sunday and then not so good on the Monday. I actually didn't pick it. I don't think I picked the team.
No, you didn't, because I was like, I can. No, you didn't. You said it could go
unders, and I was off anyway, so I'm giving myself an L for that.
Because I was like, I was trying to clip some content up about it, because obviously that was pretty funny, like the way that they were reacting, beating them, doing all the Corvettes in the tunnel and everything.
I think I said it was like going to be like one of those weird games, or maybe a bit of a coin flip.
Yeah.
Unders, I was way off. I went unders because of the turnovers. Like I thought that, which ended up happening, but fuck. Browns just kept on scoring. Pittsburgh didn't turn up at all.
So we had it on in the office, and it was just like bang, bang. And
it was
like,
crazy.
What's doing?
It was crazy, considering all the problems that they had on their offensive line.
Because that's why I didn't clip it up, because you were like, you're not sure because of all the COVID stuff. Remember that's what you said on the podcast?
Yeah.
I was trying to find a little clip to be like, oh, maybe Scope was right for Instagram.
Yeah.
And then there was nothing I could use because you didn't really say anything.
Well, with the COVID stuff, I thought that was going to be a detriment to the Browns, because I actually liked the Browns better in that game. But with all, they were missing a few offensive linemen, they were missing their coach who couldn't call plays. I ended up finding out that after the pod that he actually wasn't able to call plays, because I think a part of that rule was, because at the time I didn't know, but apparently because, if you're sitting at home, you've got more information, you can be sending it in. He's got a better view of what's happening out on the field or something like that, so they didn't let him call plays. But I'm giving myself an L because I said unders and it was fucking way overs. The Seahawks game versus Rams, I like the Rams in that game. Despite everything that had happened to them, I put it in the multi and that went good. What were the other games? The other one I got wrong was for the SPC multi, was the other big game, which was the Titans-Ravens game. Lamar was just too good. Finally won his first playoff game. I'm sticking to my guns and going against the Ravens again this week, but we'll get into that. Well, let's get into the picks and we'll just see how we go.
Yeah, so for first one, week. Your Packers versus Rams. That's pretty obvious, I reckon, where you're going there.
Yep, I'm going the Packers, and I really like the Packers in this one. If you watched the game last week, Aaron Donald come off late and didn't come back in the fourth quarter. I reckon that's massive. Even if he does play, he's going to be hampered by that rib injury. What it looks like I've sort of landed in that spot before in footy, and it looks like it could be a couple of fractured ribs, which he can play on, but it's extremely sore. I played the next week, and playing the way that he does at a top level, he gets double teamed all the time too. So if we can take him out of the game, that'll be massive. Another big matchup. We talked about DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey last week. That was kiddies for Jalen Ramsey. DK's limited in his route running and whatnot, and he's coming up against big dog. He's coming up against 17 this week, Devontae Adams, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that will be a genuine matchup. But there are so many playmakers on the defense for Rams and playmakers for the Packers on offense. I think we've just got too much, and I think our defense is a lot better than the Rams O. So if we can stop the run, which we've done a good job of in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and why I declared the Packers, I think Packers will cover, and I've got them in the SPC multi.
So that's the first game. That's an 8:35 kickoff. Sydney time for everyone who's listening. Next one, we've got Bills-Ravens.
Bills-Ravens. Bills looked a bit scrappy. That was a win-win for me last week when I declared the Colts my dark horse and Bills one of my contenders. If no matter what in that game, I would look like a genius. So I played that very well. Thank you. But like I said, I thought the Colts were going to give them a bit of trouble. They did give them a bit of trouble. Bills got the job done. I'm taking Bills again this week. I like the Bills over the Ravens. I think they will live and die by Lamar throwing and beating them. They have to. If you watch that game back with the Titans, the reason I like the Titans, their secondary is not that great, but surely you got to stop the run. You got to stop Lamar. Sometimes it looks like it's easier said than done, but teams have done it to him in the past in the playoffs. So I can't see the Bills are schematically a pretty good defense, and they're like the Packers. They've got better as the year's gone on. So I think the Bills will be able to slow them down. That's my other leg in the SPC multi, -2.5. So -6.5 Packers, -2.5. And I've had a little lick on that, little 500 for the punters club as well.
Chiefs-Browns.
Chiefs-Browns. I feel like this game might be trickier than what people think. The Chiefs are sort of...
Because that's everyone was commenting on the post of them all doing the Corvette going, oh, beauty. They've got...
exactly. They're going to catch that. They've got ahead of themselves. They're playing the best team in the competition this week. Off a bye, which I said before, Andy Reid is historically really good off a bye. So, yeah, I've got the Chiefs. The Chiefs go through and beat them. Whether it gets a bit ugly and tricky because they can run the ball at a higher level, I think some of those players on the Chiefs' defensive line, like Chris Jones and Frank Clark, are really going to get after Baker. He did a good job of winning his first playoff game as well as Lamar, which wasn't, as highly talked about for some reason. For some reason, Lamar had to win a playoff game, but Baker didn't have that much pressure on him. Obviously, the Browns and Ravens situations are different, but yeah, I like the Chiefs in that game, but I don't think it'll be easy. I think I end up putting a bet on myself because I put like a little kiddies $100 bet on all 4 games this weekend, and I had the Chiefs 1-14 in that game. So.
And then the last one, we've got Saints-Bucks. So Brady versus Breeze.
Brady versus Breeze, really good. This will be a fun game.
Did you see the post they put up saying it should be every game that Tom Brady plays in now should be on the History Channel because it's just historic that he's still going. Yeah. And then it was like him and Breeze like as old people.
Yeah, I think Brady reposted it too.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Yeah, so that'll be a good game. I just can't get out of my head the last meeting between the two. I think the Saints could even beat them by more on that day, and they gave them a hiding. Whether the Bucks have improved enough in that last 6 weeks or whatever to pull it back a little bit, but Saints are well and truly firing. Out of the teams that are legit contenders, they've probably got the best defense. Ravens will be thereabouts, but I think the Bills will knock them out. So I've got the Saints beating the Bucks in that game, but not confident at all in that game. I think it's a coin flip, but I just can't get that game out of my head. That last game where the Saints did a number on them. Plus, they've got all their weapons back. Michael Thomas is back. Alvin Kamara played last week after spending a bit of time and having a break with COVID. So they look like they're firing. So looking forward to that.
So what's that? That's Monday, 10:40 a.m. that game.
Yeah, those are the two Monday games. So another good weekend of NFL. We're YKTR Sports, basketball. We're going to get into...
do you want to give your little thoughts on Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, so the Brooklyn one is a big one as well. Filthy because I had Karis LeVert for 6th man of the year.
I saw that in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, that fucked me.
Are you still playing fantasy basketball?
No, I'm not. No. It's too hard. It's day to day.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when I started doing content here as well. I had so much time on my hands when I was playing footy, but like now we're doing this stuff, I'm like messaging back to people, trying to get guests on here. coming in the office as much as I can. So, yeah, NBA basketball fantasy is a little bit more full on.
But go to Brooklyn. So, what are your thoughts?
I got on Karis LeVert at 25-1 at the start of the year. He ended up coming into favoritism of like around $5
for your sixth man. Is that right?
Sixth man, but now he's probably going to go start when he gets to the Pacers, which sucks. But it's going to be fucking fun, man. I love the NBA for this. It's hard to follow a team because all this shit happens all the time. It's another super team. I think, did you post the Supreme Dreams?
How funny was that?
He's the best, man. I love that dude.
You see that LeBron retweeted it this morning and then they filmed his reaction to it?
Yeah, again, because he's done that before on the one. Have you seen the one where he's the guy's just trying to get a layup and fucking keeps blocking it?
Yeah.
So he does really good content, man.
He's funny.
He's fucking so funny. He takes the piss out of LeBron all the time in a good way.
Yeah, he's like, I'm 36.
Yeah. So he's got to deal with another one. I reckon it's going to be a lot of people saying, despite how like three big stars, everyone thinks it's not going to work. They seem to like each other, get along well. Fuck, who knows what? Kyrie's the big question.
He's just gone off the grid.
Like, so
is he back? Have you seen anything? I haven't seen that he's back.
I think the thing I saw a few clips and they were talking about Kyrie with I think he went on break after they stormed the Capitol.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, he's a big advocate for the Black Lives Matter and equality and all that sort of stuff over there. And I think he's had a break because of that. So
I think so. But
Kyrie's the enigma in that group as well. Like, depends.
You don't know who you're going to get almost.
Exactly. So,
but yeah, apparently he just like pissed off and like didn't tell anyone. Nobody knew where he was. It was like, where's Wally? Like he just bounced. But
it's crazy, man. They've got so much power over there, those NBA stars, compared to the NFL and NRL players here.
Yes, they sure do. So UFC's back this weekend as well. The first fight in Abu Dhabi at the new arena that they've built. So Max Holloway versus Kelvin Kattar.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be a good fight. Max Holloway's the one that fought Volkanovski twice.
Yep. A little bit hard done by too in that last one, eh? It was one of those ones I think we're watching it and although it looked like he probably beat him, when you're the champ, you got to take the champ down. They always talk about that win in the fifth round.
Well, that was the first fight, so then Volk had the belt, and then they did the rematch, and it was almost just as close.
I thought he put a clinic. Vulcan put a clinic on the first one. I would have thought Vulcan won every round that first time.
But
remember, he's kicking him in the legs all the time and just fucking him up that way. True. The second one, it was a little bit closer.
That's
where
right, yeah.
I think Holloway had won like three out of the first four.
There was blow-ups everywhere.
Vulcan had a mad fifth round.
Yeah.
And then, he didn't. Holloway sort of just thought he was going to win it on that, and he probably should have been a bit more aggressive. And Dana come out and says that all the time. When there's those 50-50 ones, they're going to give it to the champ. So fucking, if you're a contender, come in and try to finish it. You know?
Yeah. So I know, like, I love Aussies over there. That's why I'm always passionate about if there's an Aussie in the UFC and whatnot. So I love Volk in that sense. But Max Holloway's always been one of my favourite fighters.
He's a cool dude. He's real humble. The way he spoke after the first one, I think he went on Joe Rogan. I heard him speak about that.
Yeah, just good personality. Just a proper nice dude. You hear the way that even he talks about someone like Conor McGregor. Like, it's easy to just come out and trash Conor McGregor and try and get in the clips and get on the news. But he's always speaks highly of him, everything like that. So he games. Like, he's a proper streamer.
Oh, is he?
So he streams Call of Duty and things like that, and he's that new wave sort of athlete. So I reckon that's where we wrap it up, Sco. Until next week.
Thank you. Skipper signing out. Signing out.